Hello, everyone. Jose J. Garcia with Garcia Mohom University here. Guest for today, she is out of Poland. Bit of time difference there, but she is a public speaker, mindset expert. She is a coach, entrepreneur, and I'll add motivator. Magdalena Radiska. I say that right.
Yes, correctly.
Great, great.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for inviting me. It's a
Absolutely.
pleasure to be here.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, Magdalena, I see we were just talking about Millionaire Flicks, which is something that keeps on growing. For those of you wondering, it is basically the better side of Netflix, something different too. We'll talk about that on the video. But I know you through there. I've seen some of the stuff you do. I've listened to a lot of the videos you have. But for people that don't know you, tell us about you.
Okay, so I come from Poland. As you shortly mentioned in the introduction, I'm a mindset coach, a mindset expert. That's one of the area of business. So I help people to grow, go through the change, help them to get over fears in business and personal life. Then there's another area. I'm a business owner. I have a company that it's helping others company to grow also in Poland and in other countries, connecting businesses in B2B areas. So making deals happen and helping companies to source the products they're looking for or the clients they're looking for, focusing on the B2B area on different kind of business. Yeah. So just shortly.
Yeah, no, and I already got some questions out of that there. But how did you get started? What was it that got you to be you wore quite a bit
um,
of hats there? So
well, yes, my story actually shows how our mindset works and how the mindset can be a limitation. And I believe that that's the biggest limitation we have in life. So I went through some personal development with myself first before I went into business. And I kind of, clear shift first, define the things that have been limiting me from my mindset, the beliefs about myself, first of all, about the possibilities that what I can do, what I cannot do. I come from a very small village in Poland, so in my environment, it was more about hearing like, this is not really possible, this is not for you. I mean, come on, this is too far away, too big, too much, all those kind of things.
typical.
So yeah, difficult, challenge, it was everything more like negative. So I kind of was growing up hearing this. Fortunately, my mom was there. She was like, businesswoman trying all kind of different things. So I think I also got it a positive side from her. And then, coming back, I work on myself first in order to shift my mindset, my beliefs, to clear the one that have been limiting me. And then I started to, well, basically think big,
Mhm.
and think about what I want, and without limitation, what it's possible, more about how I can do it and what do I need to make this happen. And this changed a lot, So I started to think, okay, from, my experiences in business, working for some companies before as an export manager, I saw the potential with connecting businesses in B2B area, So I was growing some projects from the scratch. It's like building the brand of the fitness club. I was like, export manager supplying to the big supermarket chains all over the world. And then I saw like, why not, to pick up, some things from there and build my own business around it. And that's what I do. And yeah, step by step, it started, to show me there was like a great decision. So today I travel also a lot. I actually take my business with me, the computer and the phone. That's pretty much what I need. And connecting businesses. And the one big important part is the network and the environment that I'm keep investing in. So yeah.
Absolutely. So I have to ask because it's something that I struggle with, and this is something that a lot of people use as an excuse. I don't have the time. There's not enough time. There's definitely not enough time in the day. That is a given. I see that more and more. It's just wow. But you doing so much, how do you manage your time?
Well, first of all, I think that what changed my approach from what you are saying right now and people have, it was to change the word and start to say to myself, honestly, I have a time. And that was like, the beginning. It was a bit challenging at the beginning to even say that because I was really believing I don't have a time for so many things. Once I changed the words, what I was telling to myself, I also started to follow that and in a different way to schedule my things. obviously plan better, you know, I started to be like, you know, going, and then suddenly the synchronicity with the things, you know, started to appear as well, you know. So again, I will come back to this, that everything's come from, you know, what we're thinking and how we are thinking about the things. And, but I'm like, you know, I mean, I was from the practical side, I guess I wasn't so good with the planning. So I invested to make this this better. I think I'm a traditional person. I take I have a notebook and I'm just, you know, every evening writing down the points, what I'm supposed to do for next day. Exactly. I have like, you know, many of them.
Oh,
And this is the best method, you know, it's so simple. And then in the morning, you know, if something, you know, extra happened, I put it down. And, you know, the feelings when you are crossing the things that you did,
yes.
that's also give you, yeah, it gives you notice that you have achieved already something. It's already a process of building self-confidence because you like see your successes, right? And
Yeah.
the thing is that we think we don't have time. It's because we are not doing, for example, this work, and suddenly we feel overloaded with everything. We think that we have to do everything in one day, which is impossible, and we're not going to do everything in one day. But just the feeling and emotion behind it stop us finally to do anything, you know. So we're like, you know, getting into the cycle. So yeah,
No, I
that's
gotta ask on that. That is huge because yes, without the pet, if I don't have that, I am lost. And I plan ahead and I plan then behind. I always one day ahead. I have to, and it is definitely a giant satisfaction when I cross out. And when I have a days
yeah,
where everything is crossed out, it's like yes, like you feel good.
exactly, you know,
But
the
when you
feeling.
don't, you feel almost down on yourself. But so many people go through life and through business, especially trying to be entrepreneurs, anything. Anyway, without a pet, how important is a path to you?
A pad, you mean like
A notebook.
the
A notebook, yes.
a notebook? Okay. Well, listen, there's like, you know, for me, I have my goals. I have, you know, like the path, you know, the things that that give me a guidelines, you know, this is what I wanted to achieve. But I'm also, I remember to like, you know, not criticize, not taking myself down, especially if something, and be flexible to change, you know, and like to allow myself even to reevaluate whatever, you know, I have decided, I don't know, a year ago to do. And today, maybe I'm going to change it, you know, something, maybe like what I was thinking a year ago, it's not necessarily working for me right now. I feel something different. I grow, you know, I'm changing, and that's okay. You know, I think that the bigger part that people face and what is also limiting is that, you know, if something's happened outside, like, you know, the COVID situation that happened, you know, it has influenced us from the outside, and suddenly, you know, people got so lost, but also like, you know, they had to face this moment where maybe you now gonna go in completely new direction, you know, and to be fine with it, you know, like without COVID, you should also be fine with, you know, changing your goals and your path, you know. This is not like once you decide that that's it, and if you're not gonna do it, that you're gonna put yourself down because you didn't achieve something, you know. So yeah, so I don't know if that's actually the question you was asking for, but yeah, I'm like it gives me the you know, the ground, but I'm not I'm flexible also to see whatever it's happening, so I can, you know, adjust and change
Sure.
and still be good with myself, you know, going maybe making some changes in my life. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, a couple things there. You named our podcast name, by the way, earlier. You said you have the time. That's what we're going to name this podcast. You have the time with Magdalena. So, and yet, you know,
Yeah.
Jim Rohn said it best when he said about a pad is you cannot accomplish a goal that you have not written because there's no accountability. And that was huge because so many people have goals, wishes. Nobody's going to accomplish it unless you set something behind it.
That's
What do you
true.
think is one of the most asked questions from your clients, that come to you of when they need help from you?
I think that, you know, at the end of the day, everything comes to believing yourself, really, you know, how to, you know, how to believe yourself. That's something that I'm, you know, facing a lot, whether it's a personal business. So again, this is the basic. I really think that once we work on the most important relationship we have in our life with ourselves, being best friends. For me, that means that we're not criticizing ourselves when we make mistake, basically, we're good to ourselves when the things go wrong, because it is very easy to be good and positive when the things are good. What about if the things go bad and we start take things personally, and then, we're like, really, so that's the thing that it's coming back, like, whether somebody wanted to change, their business, or maybe grow or take a next step, like I told you, I'm from the small village, and I went to international market globally. I have organized, for example, Poland Africa Business Forum. Now I'm actually about to organize another one next year, this time in Africa. So, it's those kind of things, when they came to your mind, you're like, what is limiting you? It's you think that it's not for you, or you will not make it, so that's the thing that's always behind, the whatever reason people have. I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have possibilities. When we dig in, it's I'm worried I'm not gonna make it, I don't believe in myself. So that's
Well put. Absolutely. You have spoken at some very large stages I've seen with some very successful people, some which are my coaches. Now that is always a question, because like we hear from them, it's always surround yourself by those who are more successful, positivity.
Sure.
It's hard to do the opposite, because you don't have to go very far for that. But you being in stages like that, I mean, how is it like to be surrounded by so many positive minds, so much positive there, just in one room?
I think this is like the main thing, the environment. And this part helped me to grow, basically. This part, that I have invest to go and be around positive people higher than me, from the one who I can, learn the business and different way of thinking, and see that the things are possible. That was the best investment I did years ago, and I'm keep doing it. And the environment, I cannot stress this enough. This is so crucial, because if we cannot lift ourselves up with ourselves, the environment do this for us, or it takes us more down, right? So and basically, for me, like being in the small village, when I was talking about my goals and ideas, how I wanted to live, and everybody around me was like, looking very weird at me, like, what is this
You're
idea
crazy.
she's having? Like, I mean, seriously, Congress in Africa, I mean, what are you talking about? I'm really not mentioning to those people now my plans, But then suddenly I found people to who I say what I want to do, and it was like a normal thing for them, It's like, yeah, sure, go for it, I mean, go find out, learn about the strategy you need to learn, like educate yourself. But yeah, sure, so it was a different conversation. The conversation wasn't about whether it's possible that I can do it. It was more about, I was looking for the guidelines how to do it, right? To learn maybe extra strategy that I need. So environment, crucial, and
Absolutely.
definitely, definitely a big thing if we wanted to change, and reach our goals.
So I definitely agree with that. Absolutely. It is a must, and you have to, when these events happen, for instance, I have to be a part of it. Just I feel part of the environment again. So
Yeah,
almost like that
the
drive
energy.
boost.
Yeah, you also, you get the energy from the people. It's not only
Yes.
about, it's the energy, So yeah,
Been feeling a
definitely.
little down, a little tired. You go in this room, it's like I'm ready to go again. Like, so absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've heard it said both ways, but I ask you because this is some of what you coach. Do you think that everybody can be an entrepreneur? Everybody can be successful? Or do you believe that there's some people who are not meant to be entrepreneurs?
Interesting question. First of all, if the question about if everybody can be successful, yeah, definitely. It's just that the matter of defining what is success for you. So, for everyone, success will be something different. And I think this is very important. This is like a trap. People get into it because they are trying to achieve the success other people told them this is a success, instead of asking themselves what is success for them, right? So that will be like, the part, and then you can really follow like what makes you happy, And in that way, if you will think like, if you really put your mind on that path, then you can also, well, being entrepreneur, it's like, there's a certain way of thinking and acting. not necessarily you have to have a business, to be like, to have such a mindset. You can work for someone else as well and be a person who will be growing and just, really, using all the skills that entrepreneurs have, right? So yeah, I think that will be the main thing. First, to really ask yourself, what is it that you want? What is your thing? And go that direction. Some people, they say that, like, they're not meant to have a business, but when I start to talk to them, it's more about fears. It's again more about what they believe about themselves. I see the potential, I see the way that, how they can work and that they can have a business from the things they're passionate about. It's just they don't believe in themselves. They're thinking it's not for them again, because somebody put this in their mind. So yeah, I will come back to the mindset and beliefs again.
Good answer. Absolutely. I agree with that. So can you push somebody? I'm thinking, I guess, in the sense of how can you push somebody to try to do more without pushing them away?
I think that my way is to be a bit of like, when working with the clients, to be a bit a mirror of showing them what they're capable of and what is their potential. That's one thing. But second, to show them what they have already achieved till now. And I think in that way, like, the motivation through showing them the value they already, like what they did to get in the point they are in their life, even, they are thinking that they're like really in the bad place right now. It's because they're really focusing only on the bad parts of their life, So again, being a mirror for somebody to show them a different perspective of what they did so far, that there are successes there behind, in this path, and then showing them that what they are capable of, it's giving that, the push, like you say, without pushing, because they start to see themselves different and they see that there's somebody else, kind of pointing out, okay, yeah, you're right. Actually, it's not a small things what I did here so far, So again, this is very often, happen. We're like, we look at the mirror, we are focusing on the negative parts about ourselves or our, story or the moments we are, and we don't see, everything like, kind of around us what we did so far. So yeah, so I think that will be the way of pushing without pushing. And like, for me, for example, the way that my mentors or coaches motivates me or what is working on me, that's actually also a piece. I'm not so much about if somebody told me like, go, you shouldn't be lazy or you shouldn't be something. This is not a motivation for me. This is actually taking me more down. Why? Because I can be the best critics of myself, so like this is enough, I mean, it's enough. I have this like, I could really take myself down, and I had this, maybe not now because after, the things but before I was like, the biggest judge for myself. So I didn't need a judge in the role of a mentor or coach. I needed somebody to show me the successes, the potential, the things from a different perspective. And that gave me motivation to like, okay, so I can do it, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. And we can be our biggest critics, that's for sure. I know I do it. So
Yeah.
have you ever invested, I don't know if you full aware, but I'm a mobile home investor. I call it the hidden side, the real estate, manufactured housing. Do you invest in real estate?
Well, I do. This is just the beginning of actually my journey. But in my business, I cooperate with the real estate developers companies because I'm supplying the products to the projects, So yeah, hotels or residential, apartments. So I'm basically again here the connector. Yeah. So I'm like, a bit from the supplier side here. And also have some projects connecting investors with projects. Yeah.
Quite a bit you do. That is impressive to say the least. Couple more questions for you. And this one is always interesting. I've heard it asked more than a few times. If you could go back 10, 15 years and give yourself advice, what would that be?
Okay, 10, 15 years ago, believe in yourself. That would be the main one. Was definitely something like you can do it. And I mean, that would be like, oh, and get yourself, and if you don't, get yourself someone, get your coach, get a mentor. That's for sure. Because my path, when I started to like, the personal development part and getting rid of fear started from the moment when I make a phone call. I set up a call with my mentor years ago. And my idea to going to him was to just get an advice where I should live. And what I discovered, he told me about main 2 or 3 fears that are limiting me in every area of my life. And I was like, what? And he told me, but this is, your thing. This is inside your head. And I'm like, what? And this stopping me, this actually influencing everything in my life. And he said, yeah. So do you want it to work on it? I'm like, come on, bring it on. Every week, I was like every week for 2 years nonstop, going. And so, yeah. And if I would advise myself something, that would be like, do this early, go and do this early. And because of that work, I saw I started to believe myself, accepting the way I am, loving myself more. So from there, everything's follow, right? So yeah, we are like, we're amazing, all of us, we have huge potential. We just don't see it and we don't believe. There's so many things covering it. So I think that's the main thing, yeah.
You've mentioned fear a few times through the podcast here. Can you fully get over fear? Do you think for whatever that may be?
I'm sorry, there was something cutting a bit. So what was the question?
Fear. You've mentioned fear a few times on here. Can you fully overcome fear?
I discovered that you can, kind of fully overcome fear, the one that is limiting you, once you do it with somebody, once you are actually, having a help of somebody. And it's more about, because, there are fears that, like, fear is in our life, it's also warn us from the danger. That's a different one, right? Don't walk in the street because the car will, hit you. So you're like kind of looking around, that's a separate one. That's a positive one, you could say, right? So it's a part of, it's emotion that we're going to have in our life. But like, to get rid of the limiting one that is like really holding us in, and it's only in our head. It's possible when you start, working with someone about it and kind of take it, this fear on the table, put it, see it, like discuss it, notice, and it start to, like you take it power away. Basically, you shift it in that way. So that was my story, and that's what I do also with the clients. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. I definitely like that. Yeah, and I think so too. I mean, confidence comes with, obviously, with practice, something you repeatedly do and something you shoot for. So I would agree with that. Last question for you is, what is next for you? You've achieved so much. Well, what is next for you?
Well, thank you. I think that I have still lots of things to achieve. I'm keep getting new ideas. so this is like, I'm saying, this is just the beginning. For now, I'm growing my company. I'm very happy to grow the company. What I do, with the connecting businesses, I found it as a great, a great area also to expand and just help people to, here to achieve their goals. Obviously, the coaching, mentoring, I would like it to reach more and more people and help them to overcome whatever limitation they have. In a short time, I'm planning next year the Congress in Africa. I told you, business Congress, a big one, a global one. So of course, whoever will be, interested, invited. I don't have information yet about it, coming soon. So it's just, I think that my main goal is like, trying to be better person every day, like to reach my, higher self version and kind of, growing. I like the idea of growing. I like that, the life, it's a path and we should enjoy the path and growing, instead of thinking, I'm going to be happy when in 10 years I will achieve that goal. Well, I'm going to be happy today and I will be working on achieving the goal, right? So,
Good.
So.
Absolutely. Well put. Well, there you have it. We've heard it here best. And I don't know, it may be believe in yourself. I like that for the podcast, but you definitely have the time and you have to make it. You have to believe in yourself in the process. So I like it. Magdalena, I'm sure there's going to be people who want to reach out to you after this. How can they connect with you?
I think that the first and best way will be through the social media. So whether on the Facebook, my fan page, there's a LinkedIn as well. They can connect with me, and I think that's the best. There is a website, my company website, and the coaching as well. Although the coaching one, I think it's under the construction, so it's very simple. But there's possibility to leave the contact, so I will contact somebody. But Best social media, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a couple of those contacts. We'll drop them on the video here below. So if anybody does want to, just reach out to her and see
Sure.
how she can help you. I mean, awesome, great motivation for this morning for sure. So thank you for coming on here
Thank you so
today.
much. Thank you for
All right.
inviting me. Pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.